Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts Lee Silber and Ellen Goodwin. This podcast is short, fun, and jam-packed with good ideas that you can start using right away to make your life faster, easier, and better. And here's your hosts, Lee and Ellen.
Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of focus when it comes to getting things done. Focus is so important, both from a brain standpoint and from a life standpoint. So Lee, tell me a little bit about what you see as a problem with focus in today's life.
What did you say something? Oh, sorry. Too easy. I know, too easy.
I know.
Well, the problem is I think people just have too much stuff, too much to do, too much to see. There's just too much. And so
Absolutely.
it's the opposite of what focus is, right? You're scattered.
Yeah, exactly.
That term scatterbrain would apply to me in my younger life. And I could see how, if you're a master of all trades or you're good at a lot of different things, but not good at one thing, it's the person that figures out what they're supposed to do with their life and they charge forward that makes it. But that's not reality for everybody. I mean, That's just not the way things work. So we can, though, to a degree, kind of hone in on what it is we should be doing. Our top 10 of everything, the top 10 people, the top 10 tasks, the top 10, things that will help us make more money or get something done. Those are the things where we could cut back on being all over the place. So that word, and it just sounds nice to say it, simplify. Simplify,
I like it.
Streamline.
Yes.
Is what I'm talking about. And so a good example is, let's say you don't have enough time to see everyone, or you spend a little bit with a whole lot of different people, but there's just a couple of those people that being with them makes you feel good about yourself. It's positive. It's a great experience. And then there's others who feels like they suck the life right out of you, right?
Absolutely.
I wish they could take some fat while they suck my life away, but
that would be awesome.
I think that a good example, so we have all these people, and we all know it's who you know, it's how you get ahead. So you think, well, I got to meet a lot of people. I got to get to meet everybody. What I would say as an example of focus is find that one person that knows everybody and put your time into getting them as your best friend or as someone that would be your mentor or someone that would help you and vice versa. But you're much more efficient and effective than trying to meet 1,000 people if you can meet one person who knows 10,000 people. And that's
you're
a good
leveraging.
example.
You're leveraging your time and their information.
And the same thing with tasks. For instance, you have several different projects or several different paths that you could take. And so what I started doing is I made little cards that have symbols on it. So one is a heart, meaning I love doing this, or it has a star, I'm good at it, or it has a dollar sign, it makes money. And I have a whole deck, 52 of them. And so what I do is when I'm thinking a project, I just write down the project and I put the cards down. And I could see, this only has 2 cards. This is probably not a good use of my time. Or it has 12. I think, that's something I probably should pursue. So it helps you to streamline. It's from getting from what's good to great.
I like it.
Right? Good is good, but
good is
great.
Good, but great.
Oh, it'd be great.
Holy crap, yeah.
So the things that you can do to get from good to great, number one is to focus on your strengths. What brings out the best in you? That is a good use of your time. When you're doing what you know you're good at, it's easier, it's faster, it's better. It's the epitome of what we're talking about. And then I would say focus on your tendencies, meaning if you're somebody that works well in short bursts of time and you can get like pockets of time where you could get something done quicker if you just say, I'm going to work on this for 5 minutes. And that's you're ultra focused on something for however much time that is. That's better than a little bit here, a little bit there, So find a way to focus on your tendencies. If you're somebody who likes to leave things out, you're visually oriented, go with it. If you want to remember to bring something with you the next day, just stick it in your car instead of writing a note.
Right.
So use your tendencies to your strengths, your tendencies, focus on what matters most, and which means decluttering your calendar. I mean, look at your calendar and say, okay, what is my number one priority? I want to be wonderful. I want a romance. I want to be a great parent. I want to make it in this career. Okay, so what's your number 1, 2, 3, 4? And then make sure those are the things that you have penciled in. And with most of us have too much going on. And if we were to focus on those things that bring out the best in us, that go with our natural tendencies, that are going to get us where we want to go, we're so much better off. And then finally, I would say focus on the things that are, there's no other way to put it. People think, oh, man, that's 5 minutes, or I'll give you 5 minutes. Hey, do you got a minute? You got a minute? Hey, you got 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What you're really saying is, can I have a piece of your life? I think we have to value our time as not time, but life. If I'm going to help you move, there went 8 hours of my life.
Yeah.
So when it comes to focus, it's focusing on the things that bring out the best in you, that make the most sense for you to get ahead in your time and what matters most, and eliminating the things that are cluttering up the clock and the calendar.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it.
I'm
I'd
glad.
like, yeah. Well, I'd like to take it a little further, and like, one of our things is getting into focus. You mentioned pockets of time, and we think we need huge amounts of time to accomplish things, and we really don't. If you're, let's say in business, you have to write a report, you're not going to sit down and write that for 3 hours, but if you take half an hour, you can move yourself ahead quite efficiently. And I have a little equation, and I know I told you there'd be no math, but there is a little equation, and the equation is 10 plus 2 times 5. And so what I do is I sit down and I use a timer on my phone. There's an app called Seconds, which is great because you can set up any sort of timing schedule you want. And I set up a boxing schedule. And what it does is it gets times for 10 minutes, then it gives me a 2-minute break, then a 10-minute, and it's all timed out so I don't have to touch it after I do that. I work for 10 minutes, just super hard on whatever I'm doing. Take a 2-minute break. Usually I get up, I walk around, sit back down because the bell goes off. I've got to sit back down because I've got another round. And I do that 5 times. That's an hour. But I've worked in these short bursts. My brain doesn't get overtaxed. I can focus the whole time. So 10 plus 2 times 5, one of my favorite focus modes. Now, people will talk about the Pomodoro method, which is similar to that, where you set a timer for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. And if that works for you, that's great. People's brains can focus different amounts of time. The most you can do at one time is 45 minutes really pushes you. I know some people say, hey, work 90 minutes, then take half-hour break. Holy crap, I can't do that. So my math, 10 plus 2 times 5, my favorite focus number.
I like because sitcoms are only 30 minutes. And that's partly because that's about people's attention span is 30 minutes. And so I think that's a great way to, give yourself some structure. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And force yourself to sit and focus. And then my thing is just make sure whatever you're spending your 10, 5, 2, is that right?
10 plus 2 times
Yeah.
5.
Is you're spending that not just on anything, but on those things that matter most.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite things to do is before I sit down, I don't just willy-nilly sit down because, wasn't that a band? No, that was Milli Vanilli. But I make a note. I make notes of like, okay, in this hour of time, I'm going to write, maybe I'm just going to block out 4 blog posts. And then next I'm going to find the research. And then next I'm going to do this. But I set it down so that when I sit down, I don't have any moments where I'm searching my brain like, what should I do now? Because that's when we get in trouble. That's when we lose focus. We get distracted and we go into the internet. We look at something and off we go. But if you know you've only got 10 minutes, you're rocking it. You're just going through that. That bell goes off. And like I said, the app I use, it sounds like I'm in a boxing round. And it even says, next round. So it's fun. I get a lot done. And I'm focused. So focused is just, if we don't have focus, it's bad. it's really all you can say.
Well, this show was focused. I think we
It's-
delivered what we said we would in a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
And, by the way, the band is James Sit Down. That's what you're searching for, an 80s band.
Okay.
So you were right.
James, sit down.
Yes, I'm not kidding.
Awesome. Well, that's our episode for today. Sit down when you can. Do a 10 plus 2 times 5. Look at the people you really want to spend time with. Leverage your time. Don't waste your time on people that aren't working for you.
And
Anything else?
let me offer, if I can, a free set of my cards so that I could give those to you if you would like a deck that's got all of the, and I'll put some blank ones in there. You can make up your own criteria,
Excellent.
a rating criteria of what you're doing and how effective is it, how efficient is it, how important is it, so you're able to kind of grade things and spend the time on the things that are going to give you the most return on your time.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Join us next week with our next episode.